Wouldn't it be quarter centennial?
That's right. Sorry, quarter
I was gonna say,
centennial. 25.
my brain hurts.
I don't know why people say like quarter till 8 and stuff like that. Just say it's 7:75 like everybody else.
Brandon,
Quarter to 8.
we use imperial units. No, we don't.
7.
We use imperial time
5.
units.
Or syllables.
Wait, now
Glenn, it's 7:45. Quarter till 8, not 7:75.
He's making the joke that because a quarter usually refers to a quarter of 100 instead of a quarter in this case because we know that time is measured in 60s. But a quarter doesn't usually refer to 60s in general.
I feel like we're playing that blow up game, and I'm just not catching on. Like
That
2/3
blow-up
of
game?
You'll catch it in the edit.
is that
Oh,
how
it's
you
like-
refer to keep talking and nobody explodes? That blow up game?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're
All right,
not
I think
wrong.
it's Nick's turn.
To what, host?
Yeah, because I did it last session.
You like to do it, Nick?
No.
Okay. Get your dice ready because we are ready to roll another session of Casual Quest Masters. We are a D&D 5th edition live play adventure. Representing the team is Nikhil Chodi Mella.
Hi, I play Vol, Nightwalker Valvanugoni, and he's hurt.
Brandon Thresher.
Backdoor bed on.
And yours truly as Nox. Help the team get extra damage. I actually don't have anything to rhyme. The only person that actually didn't get hurt. And Glenn Houston, our dungeon master.
Hi.
Hi. He also took no damage, it felt like.
I
And
took
that's-
0. I never take damage.
How about I tell you a puzzle and you take psychic damage?
That's the only way to do it, but it doesn't give me damage in game.
What is the difference between a duck?
And what?
That's it. What is the difference between a duck?
No.
Okay. I just heard do 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 as Glenn's mental computer just shuts down. So let's get into it. Episode 25. Holy shit! Let's see who gets to do the fun recap part.
We are at our quarter centennial. Woo!
Oh, now we're at quarter centennial. Wait a minute here. Oh, thank God. I rolled a 7. I started sweating because Brandon beat me.
I rolled a 5.
I'm like, oh shit. But Nick beat all of us. Impressively
This is
so.
I rolled a 1, which is a critical failure, which means I automatically do it.
This is 3 weeks in a row, Nick.
no.
3 weeks. Do I get triple inspiration?
You get an extra inspiration point for the triple.
Fuck it.
What?
Fuck it. Eat my ass.
Oh no!
All
Here
right.
we go. Here we go. You get an inspiration point, but so does everyone else. This is a team game.
I don't like that.
But they can share. You can share inspiration points.
I don't like that.
don't like that.
Share the ass eating. There we go. Nick, I will support you as best as I can by writing the intro.
Previously on Casual Quest Masters. Brandon and Glenn decide that the stuff he was offering was too OP and backtracks a little bit. You can tell I didn't write this. They head further into the mountains after
No, you
some minor
can't.
sidetracking, a dream involving the Raven Queen at casually asking Nox to help her kidnap and interrogate the traveler. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. The team reaches the village that has long since been abandoned. They find a lone Goliath child being slowly hunted down by a couple of frost giants, and the gang proceeds to fuck them up. And they get fucked up instead. Like, holy fuck, it was a one-way street to Pound Town. It hurt so bad. But we won.
You see, Conan O'Brien is an excellent late night TV show, but without his script writers, he is nothing. That's why I think everybody should get inspiration.
Street to Pound Town. Holy fuck, that hurt.
Come on, that's
just-
writing.
All the subtext I see there is good combat encounter, Dungeon Master. So cool.
Yeah, that's up to the debate.
Oh man. Oh. Cool. So yeah, I believe we ended at the end of combat, and the kid had run off, as far as you know. So, how many hit points are you all at?
11.
10.
Wait, I'm the healthiest one with full health. Cool.
Yes.
I'm at 38. And
I
I
like
go,
to
wow.
throw my dwarven thrower at Nox.
Okay, roll the
Don't
hit.
bring me down, Magdor.
Bring me down, down, down.
That would hurt.
What'd you roll to hit?
Huh?
You rolled, so that means you
Oh, I
hit it,
know.
right?
I'm not. I was just curious. I'm not actually throwing it at him.
It's
Okay.
okay. He would miss anyways with his 16.
I used an inspiration
Oh.
point. I got a crit.
I didn't hear you say inspiration for that.
Anyway,
that's what I
Magdor's
thought,
laying in a
bitch.
puddle of liquor, a puddle of ale.
A puddle of ale. Oh, that's right.
Yes.
You're-
Because
it
he started
broke.
throwing rocks, so his alchemy jug broke.
Yep.
Oh no,
so he's
Magdor is
laying
broken.
down there.
Also, I'd use
So, yeah.
unsettling vices
It's-
on you in a heartbeat if you tried throwing
Like
that
an
damn hammer
alcohol
at me.
Slushy on the ground, by the way.
Yeah.
Mixed
'cause
with my blood and Vol's blood, and ale and mud and rocks and Magdor's tears.
Well, nothing was gained, nothing was lost, was there today?
Here.
Oh god, there's ghosts! I ready fireball. Oh, Vol, why you
Oh.
keep sighing very oddly sexually?
Hmm.
Oh god.
And then Vol's gonna start walking around and looking for that kid specifically.
Go ahead and make a little perception check for me. The moonlight makes it so it's dim, so you'll still have disadvantage to look for the kid. Unless you're trying to listen for him, in which case you will not have disadvantage.
So you said I had disadvantage?
If you're looking, yes. If you're listening, no.
Okay, I rolled a 19.
Great. Yeah, you hear some shuffling behind. Because remember, I said you guys were looking between two houses, and there was a well that he was hiding behind originally. And he scurried off to your left as
Mhm.
the battle started. There's a house. Half of a house there. One of the boulders that was similarly chucked at you had rolled through this house, and you hear a bit of wood fall to the ground inside of the remnants of that house.
Come on out, child. We somehow killed them, but hi. I'm a Valendagoni, if that helps.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
I was about to shout from the background, really persuasive, Vol. Guide.
Well, lucky I had advantage because I rolled a 19.
Great. Yeah, the kid pops their head up, and you can see that they're probably about 9 years old. You
Oh my gosh,
recognize
it's a
age
mini
a little
Vol.
easier. But it is a little girl because early on they don't in your village like show any sort of favoritism between the sexes, and everybody shaves their heads for the most part until they're older when they're allowed to kind of make more personal choices about their aesthetic.
Because it's
Uh,
2020.
And she pokes her head up and kind of slowly comes out. And you can see that she's holding, and you didn't see this before because it was dark and there was fucking frost giants and you were fighting. She's
She's
holding
packing?
her right arm, and it's bleeding pretty profusely, and it's kind of looks like it's most likely busted up pretty bad, but you can't tell for sure at this distance. And she comes out, and in giant, she says, "Are you really a Valnagoni?"
Yes, and then both my I'm gonna pull out both my dagger and my short sword because the short sword is a family heirloom.
Mhm.
and show her the symbol on it.
She comes out and holds her arm and she says, "I think it's broken."
Come, let's see if our my my dwarf friend over here can help you with that.
I think at this point my haste spell would end after it's been a minute. So both y'all are suddenly exhausted for a second here.
Hence the panting.
Ah,
You're panting really fast. Now you're panting. Okay.
And then yeah, I'm gonna like sort of, if she's willing to come. I'm not gonna like
she's coming with you, but she seems very wary of outsiders. Even though you don't look like a Val Nugoni, you are a Goliath, and you've provided proof, so she trusts you somewhat. But it's obvious as she kind of uses you as kind of like visual cover from them, and seems wary of coming up to them.
Backdoor. And I'm gonna kind of squat down next to Magdor.
Why is that tiny boy crying?
He lost his
She
beer.
says this in giant, just in case you guys.
I'm gonna reply back. He lost his beer. It was a magical jug that gave him a supply of beer.
We have one of those.
Magdor immediately just perks up. Oh wait,
It's a
no, he
giant.
doesn't know giant. Never mind. Magdor's.
I'm trying to put like the pieces back together. I don't know mending and it wouldn't work anyways, but I'm like, it's okay, Magdor. I want the mayonnaise. It's gonna be fine.
Magdor, they said they have some ale.
Magdor's wails kind of quiet down a little bit, but he's still upset.
She said if you could help her arm looks pretty busted. She'll help us out.
Magdor is going to drink.
Drink what?
Like beer
he's going
slushies? What's
to-
going on here?
Yeah, he's going to slurp the ground.
It's like Garfield with lasagna, except it's any alcohol you can find in the house.
And
What do you guys passive perceptions too? So I know.
Dog
just gonna
shit.
I don't have to ask.
13.
21.
11.
All right.
But yeah, so Magdor's gonna slurp up some of the slushy and vomit. And then stand up with a beard caked in everything, pretty much. Blood, ale, vomit. He's gonna walk up to this little girl, who's probably the same size as him, height wise.
She's like 5'4", 5'5".
So yeah. And oh no, I'm 4'6". Oh god, she's taller than me. And
She's
he's
like
gonna
9
look
or 10 years old.
and he's gonna look up and say, "You said you've got ale."
She looks at Vol. And you remember, Vol, that like you didn't fully understand common until you spent more time outside of your village. So
Yeah.
she probably doesn't know what he's saying.
I'm gonna look at him and goes, he's asking if you have any stores of ale.
I think so. I would have to ask the elders.
I'm gonna look at the girl and in Dwarvish say, "Do you speak Dwarvish then?"
No dwarfish, just giant. So looks like I'm the translator here. She says she's had to get permission from the elders, but it's possible.
What do the what's the tree coverage looking like over here? Like we went through a bunch of trees earlier. Are they like pine trees, evergreens or whatnot? Or
Yeah, they're coniferous. Yeah, so there is a decent amount of like pine, evergreen, that sort of mountainous, high altitude trees that look like they were probably planted here on purpose as sort of a windbreak on the edge of the village.
Nice, smart. Asking
yeah.
for a friend, what is the size comparison between those trees and say one of the frost giants?
The village has been here for a while, so the trees are pretty tall. I would say the tallest one's pushing about 40 feet. And so the tallest, I think the frost giant was pushing 20. Frost giants were pushed like a 17 or 18 feet, so they were about half as tall as the tallest trees that are around them. And some of
Hmm.
them, of note, are destroyed and knocked over, just like some of the houses. So they
Any
were not immune to the
cliffs?
damage.
Is there any
Um,
cliffs?
Not that you can see.
No,
On the
no
far
vacation
edge of this
spots.
valley, you can see that there is the start of another, looks like probably more natural forest that leads further into the valley because this is kind of like the tip of it. Um, but around you, it's just a lot of, so yes, cliffs upwards, but not cliffs off that you can see.
Okay. I realize frost giants. How much do you think a frost giant would weigh? Probably more than 500 pounds. I'm gonna take a guess and
Oh,
say.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm not gonna be levitating them out of here anytime soon. But I'm just gonna go over there and make sure they are in fact dead as shit.
Okay. How?
I'm gonna stand up on one and
Okay.
turn its stomach into a trampoline for a second. Just cartoon style. Make sure it's dead.
Jump on it? Yeah, it doesn't move.
Okay. Uh, and then lastly, I'll shoot a firebolt at each of their faces.
Cool. Yeah. Their face is smaller a bit as you probably try and hit them near the eye or the temple or something. That absolutely confirms. If there was, they do move a little bit, but yeah, I mean, that's, if you hit
All right.
something in the brain when
They
it's close to dead or, hit something in the brain, it's usually going to move a little
they
bit.
start jerking a little bit from rigor mortis, and I'm like, ah. Oh,
Ah!
then
Nice.
I'm
And the
good
girl
then.
kind of hides at the side of the giant moving behind Vol again.
Knox. Just. Anyways, Magdor.
Magdor's going to walk up and not really understand that she's hiding from him or from Nox, and just walk up to her and say to her, "All right, let me see your arm."
And then I'm gonna look at her and enjoy and say, "It's okay. He's healed plenty of my wounds. He just wants to help."
And as you start to assure her, you see from behind the bushes and trees that Magdor is in front of, you see me. You see a figure crouching, moving through the bushes towards you. Um, in the shadows, you can't exactly make out what they're wearing, but they are humanoid and quite tall, not giant height. And then, as you notice this, you feel a cold blade on your neck, and you hear a voice in giant say, "Move and die, stranger." A
Oh,
familiar.
Where do I see? Because I
Oh,
was looking at full.
your passive didn't notice any of this.
Right, but the guy that's up against Vol now, I noticed the blade.
Oh, now
right?
you notice. Yeah, you absolutely
Yeah.
do. You see the guy that threw you, Trod.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna look up at him and say, "Fuck."
And you see his face kind of look concerned or recognizing. I don't know how to say it. He seems confused at the sound of your voice, and he looks a little closer and says, "Are you the dwarf I threw?"
he is indeed.
And then
brother.
he turns his blade flat and uses it to turn your cheek towards his, and he says, "Brother!" And he just grabs you.
It was one way to invite me back as I welcome me back as I hug him, return the embrace.
And the
see
girl
the,
looks very confused.
I see the village defenders haven't stopped doing their job.
Oh no. We little troublemaker here got out of our makeshift camp and decided she wanted to come back for something to the village. We're actually set up in the forest for now.
Well, I'm glad we got here in time then. He
Yeah.
was just about to heal her. It looks like she busted her arm. He was about to heal her.
And I'm gonna
Yeah.
hold up my metal arm and say, "Cause I've been great at healing arms.
Well, as good as it is to see you, I think it's better if we just go back to the village.
Of course. Of course.
What?
I don't know if
Wait.
they're going to be coming back anytime soon.
Wait, and Magdor's gonna go and see the pile of ceramic that Nox was attempting to, and he's just gonna scoop all of it up and carry it with him.
Carry what?
The pile
remnants
of
the-
ceramics, the old alchemy jug.
Oh, you're gonna grab all the pieces of the alchemy jug. Love it. Yeah. Go ahead and make. This is gonna be like a perception check just to see if you can locate all of the pieces real quick.
Could it be with assistance since Nox has already piled them up?
Sure. Yeah. So
Alright.
go ahead and do it with advantage. as
Yeah,
a
that'll
bonus
work.
action.
Yeah,
So
I'm helping.
perception? Oh, I rolled a nat 20 without
Nice.
advantage.
Nice. So yeah, you absolutely are able to get all of the pieces. You are 100% sure of this alchemy jug. If you can meet somebody of the enchanting variety, they may be able to reform it for you.
The
But
new quest.
Even if they can't, somebody with the mending spell could at very least make it into a functioning jug again.
Oh yeah, I plan on doing that. I have mending. So as we're walking, can I do that, or does it need to be
Oh.
set down?
Yeah, no, you're fine. It's one of those things where like you can put all the pieces into like your bag and then pull the pieces out as you're walking and then go, oh, these fit together, and then mend, and then try and find the next piece, that sort of thing.
All right. So as we're walking, you're gonna see me mending this jug, and then once it's fully back together, you see me pop open a cork and like try to drink, and then just kind of stand there and stop walking for a second.
The cool mountain air blows over some of the holes and makes an interesting kind of like sound.
Magdor, you fixed it.
No, I didn't. I gotta just throw it above my head, and yeah, no, I'm not gonna smash it. He throws above his head and he stops.
It's like
Look,
when you
it's-
gotta sacrifice your child, but you just can't bring yourself to it.
Hmm.
This one can't go to the alligators.
I would hope nobody would be able to bring themselves to do it.
He'll
Yeah.
become the next child of
Well,
Egypt
Abraham Isaac
instead.
stuff.
And so I just kind of hold this jug above my head and then just dejectedly like drop my arms.
And
Don't worry.
All right.
Magdor.
Let's go.
Shot says, "What's wrong with the dwarf?"
His magic jug got smashed in the fight with those trolls, so now it no longer produces any ale.
Huh. Well, the shaman might be able to help him.
Nice reward for saving this little one, hey, Magdor?
Yes, can your friend fix her arm before we begin and leave?
Yes.
And you at
Magdor.
this point also realize that there are 4 other Val Nugoni like hunters here that were coming out here to find her, that had kind of surrounded you, not being really sure of who you were.
oh wow,
initially.
Goliath's everywhere. Is this the welcoming committee? Hello.
This
Oh,
is
I'm
the,
sorry. Bonjour. I'm gonna try to speak giant, even though I have no idea what the hell.
You remember
Magdor's-
Trod spoke common.
Magdor's going to hold out his arm towards the girl and see if she, her arm, her broken arm.
She kind of moves it forward towards you. And you can see
And-
absolutely, it looks like right around the elbow, the actual joint itself. It looks like the elbow itself has been busted up, and that's why she's not moving it at all.
Has it broken skin or?
You can't see bones coming out, but the elbow, that actual point that you see, the profile, there is no bone. It's like the bone itself has been crushed in or busted in a way that it's not in the right place.
Oh my.
So would Magdor know what's wrong from looking at it? Is it something he can heal with a spell or something that needs time?
You could make a medicine check, or
Okay.
you could do do a medicine check to determine if you can help this at all.
Rolled a 14.
Yeah, it probably needs magic if you want to fix it right now, and it's possible for sure.
All right. I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to do Prayer of Healing. This will
Okay.
take a couple minutes. Because it's a 10-minute cast time.
And you see
And
Rod look off and tell the other hunters in quiet hand signals to go around and keep an eye out for anybody coming in on you guys, and he waits patiently.
while I'm channeling this, I'm going to do it for me, Vol, and the girl.
Okay.
And oh, I can cast it at a higher level. I'm gonna cast it at 3rd level. We're all getting fucking healed for 12 HP.
Sweet. Yeah, you are able to fix it entirely. Seems as though she was not superbly constitutionist. I don't know, she didn't have a lot of hit points.
Constitutionless.
And
Is that where you can bend really well?
Like XP constitutionalists.
constitutional democracy. Woo! Yeah, no, she seems to feel a lot better, and through those 10 minutes, you kind of see it. Despite the fact that it's like reforming her bones and muscle, it doesn't seem to hurt her. As the magic itself kind of helps to take that pain away as well. And it just kind of reforms. And then at the end of it, she like cautiously bends it and then looks at you like super happily and just gives you a giant hug. No pun intended.
Literally.
He is a tall child.
All right. I think job Magdor, I think we're all set to start moving out now. Trod?
Of course, if you are.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go.
I'm gonna look back at Nox and say, thanks for getting this all together for me. I'm gonna hold up the alchemy jug.
I know how important it is to you, Magdor. I'm gonna look at Vol and Magdor and see that they're probably still a little beat up, just a little bit, and I'm gonna just kind of say over towards Trod's direction, like, is there any threats on the way back to the encampment, Trod?
I don't think so. We didn't encounter any resistance on the way out, but that doesn't mean there won't be.
Well, I guess it only matters how many ohms there are before we have to worry about something like that. Looks like...
Sorry, I'm
oh,
confused.
It-
Ohms?
He says, Nox says things sometimes I don't even understand.
oh, OM, other monsters. Oh my gosh, he doesn't get it. Okay.
All right, let's
It should be safe, though, if you are worried about. We know the safest path.
especially
Yeah.
now that there's the village welcoming committee came out in full force. I think we'll be okay.
Well, this is most of what is left.
Let's go see how we can help.
Yeah. Be ready, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he nods off to you and starts to lead off. Looks like to the south, or I guess northwest is the direction.
Yeah, Vol's gonna follow.
I'm gonna follow as well.
I'm continuing to follow.
Okay, yeah. So
forgive me, I didn't realize I needed to confirm. Yeah, no, I break off and I find the nearest cliff to see if I can fly.
okay, your choices have value and meaning. There is not a cliff on the way there because it's just kind of open plain until you get to this forest.
Damn.
And you're in a valley. So, like I said, if you want to go up to find a cliff, you absolutely could. Or to jump down in, maybe? I don't know. But like from this point, it's going to be hard to find a cliff. But you eventually, about 10 minutes of kind of like decent paced jogging, find your way into this village. and you can tell they're slowing their pace up just because dwarves have short legs and they don't. So they are conscientious of the fact that they're running with a child and b someone who is literally smaller in stature than them. So, but they are cautious. You can see that that group of other hunters that he had told to watch the village are also similarly kind of like circling around you as you guys move, um, watching from further away for different threats. Kind of at times it's even hard to see where they are as they are trying to mask their presence, um, to make sure that they can get the jump on anybody that would try to attack you. Uh, and eventually you find your way into the forest, and it's dark. And as you enter the village, or as you enter the forest, eventually you start to see the dim reflection of fire, like campfire or torchlight on some of the trees after a few minutes of travel through the thick coniferous woods. And eventually you find your way into what looks like a makeshift camp of sorts. It looks like because there was times when your hunters would go and track different herds of creatures during different seasons, and they would bring with them animal skin tents and teepees, wigwams, things that were portable. And it looks like these have now become home for the time being, as they've set them up somewhere deep in the forest, safe from prying eyes. As you didn't notice this light from outside nor from above when you were coming into the valley, seems as though they masked their presence pretty well. And there's probably only like 15 people in the village that you can see. A few children, a couple other people that are milling about, eating food, a couple people on watch as you enter. Um, all of them kind of eyeing you specifically, oddly, full. Um, but all of you get odd looks. All of you. But you
Outsider.
specifically, there's a little bit of there's a little bit of poison in their stare
Mhm.
Oh man.
as you
Did we
enter.
start hearing the song from The Lion King too? Yeah, Exile. Oh,
I don't remember
Deception.
Magdar's going
Disgrace.
to kind of ignore the stares and just kind of say out loud, "I'll need some ale." And you guys kind of realize you didn't notice it too much, but Magdor's always been drinking from his jug, which is why he hasn't been going to the tavern as much lately and hasn't been asking for ale. But now that he doesn't have it, that's what he wants. He needs it now.
I have an alcohol issue and I need booze now.
Brother, I know we came to help. But would you happen to have any stores of ale remaining?
We have some, but we tend to leave it for when folks get hurt and they must be worked on to numb the pain.
Magdor's
It's
going
not
to take his arm off.
something we use for pleasure.
Yeah.
Why
Magdor's
does
currently
this-
holding his
does
arm in
this
his
dwarf
hand.
need it?
Magdor, do you need the ale? Or do you want the ale?
Yes.
And Volt,
Mag-
Trod comes in front of you and kneels down and says, "This is a demon you will have to defeat yourself. Right now, we cannot help you. I thank you
See-
for saving her, and the shaman will do what they can to repair your jug. But I cannot
Magdor's
promise
eyes
anything."
well up.
Understood. Just
So
don't pay
much
my
loss today.
And I would have
More
said
than
that
you
in
can
giant.
imagine, friend. What'd you say?
Uh,
giant?
don't pay any attention to him. Just let them know that you just ignore him. He'll get over it eventually.
I think it's time you said hello to father and mother.
What's he saying, Vol? When am I gonna meet my grandparents?
Who's still in giant? Should we bring them?
It should be noted that he is speaking in common. He's trying to be
Okay, yeah.
amiable to the outsiders because he knows that you guys don't speak giant.
Oh, I was
consider-
waiting
yeah.
for it.
Trod.
I wasn't sure if
Never
you if this was like an LGO situation. It's like, how dare you speak to me in Elvish? I'm all inclusive. I'm glad Trot is too.
Trot
But-
is
Considering-
trying to be. It seems like he's probably one of the outliers here, as he is not staring daggers into you.
Hmm.
But he what did you say? You said pay no mind to him, right?
Yeah, that would have been to specifically about Meg. That would have been in giant. But
In
then,
giant, okay.
yeah. But then now
And he
moving forward, then he's
says-
probably gonna be in common.
Your friends should come with you, as I think you will need this.
All right.
And
Okay.
he says, "Go. Tend to the fire." He tells the child who just got her broken arm fixed, and she starts to go off into the forest to get firewood.
I'm gonna
All
leap
right,
at Trod. Nox is gonna jump at Trod.
Jump at him?
Yes, I'm gonna shout, "Uncle Trod!" and I'm gonna jump at him.
And he gets in a defensive stance.
Catch
and,
me!
backs
It's like
away.
slow motion. Just catch me.
And he
oh
puts his
shit!
hand out on your face and keeps you from
Catch
getting
me,
close to him.
Uncle
Not
Trod.
forcefully, it's just holds you at a distance. He's just what is this?
He's trying to embrace you.
I think what would have
Oh,
happened then is I
hug?
jump at him and
Okay.
he clotheslines me with his one hand. So it's just like, poosh, I immediately go horizontal into the snow.
No, here. I forgot the hugs. I hug
Ah!
you because this seems common practice, and he puts his hand down to help you up.
My nose.
If I beat you arm wrestling, can I have some ale?
You have to use your real arm, not the metal one.
That's fair.
After we visit the chieftain,
But why?
because it is more important than your alcohol.
Magda's gonna huff.
All right, let's get this. Let's get this over with.
You
I may
hear
not be
him
the
mumbling.
chieftain, but if you were unaware of our practices, the chieftain is the most respected member of our tribe. So please show respect.
You hear as as Nox puts their nose back in place from getting it's like that scene where Tosh tries to run into Mike Tyson's arm essentially, and he just gets clobbered in the process. And so, or was it Steve-O? I don't remember who it was. I think as a
Sure.
result, they fell and broke their arm because of it. But great moment in history. Anyways, Nox would accept Trod's arm up, and what is Trod doing
He
at
gives
this
you
point?
an awkward. He gives you an awkward hug. He says, "It is good to see you.
Uncle Trod.
Let us go now."
As we walk, Magdor's going to remember his history with names, so he's going to ask Trod, so what do we call them?
My mother's name is Alani Skull Crusher, and my father's name is Goruk Giant Slayer.
Wait, your parents are the chieftains?
My mother was.
Nox makes a face over at Vol.
My
as
father has
as
taken on the mantle.
as we'd be walking, you'd probably see Vol stressing out. He was not wanting to do this. He forgot completely in the race to help his brother and his village that he would have to face his parents again.
Okay, go ahead and make a. Are you trying to hide these feelings?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay.
No.
And your brother, being relatively in tune with how you're feeling, understanding what emotions you might be going through, looks at you and clasps you at the back of the skull and partially on the cheek, and gets close to you as you do. want to share air as a sign of respect and closeness. And he says, "This is important, brother. You will be fine."
I know. Came back to help. I just forgot about them.
Your value did not end when you left the village. Know that. Now come.
Let's do this.
I
And
let
then
go
as
of
we're
Trod.
going, I'm gonna turn around or to look at Magdor and Nox. And not say or do anything, but just turn and look at them and then continue moving on.
Magdor, I think Vol's scared.
Aye. He's got low health right now.
I don't think that's the problem. Well, maybe I actually. How do people who've been exiled say hello to each other when they meet?
Magdor's going to kind of take a step back. He was going to make a joke and then realized he's exiled himself. And then just kind of look down at the alchemy jug he's holding and look up and I don't know. And then continue on.
Oh,
Struck
And
a
I-
nerve in Magdor.
All right. So Trod leads you to the larger tent near the center of all these different, animal skins, tents, teepees, wigwams, whatever you want to call them. Each one with a small hole in the top and a little bit of smoke rising out of each one. And he pulls the flap open on the front and says, "Enter."
All right. And then Vol's gonna step inside.
Nox is gonna shimmy inside. They realize at this point that they need to make a good first impression, because this is the first time they're meeting their grandparents. So they're gonna be quiet for the time being.
And Magdor slowly shuffles in, still thinking about what Nox has said.
He makes pretty pointed eye contact with each of you as you go in, giving you a nod. And then you hear the flap close behind you, and in front of you, you see this one's a circular tent, and there's a pit that's been dug into the ground a little bit with some like a circle in the whole room. On the back end of the room, it looks like there is like a decent size um, bed, um, and one person is lying in the bed with another person sitting next to it on the bed. The one in the bed, their face is pale, flowers held in their hands. Incense fills the air, and from the bed, you see your father, Boruk, look up at you, but your mother's eyes do not open. And he looks up at you.
Vol at that point would probably kneel. Head down. Not saying anything yet.
And then his eyes, as his son has now kneeled, look to each one of you.
Nox doesn't blink.
Magdor's going to look over at Vol and realize what's happening and kneel as well.
Nox then realizes that they should probably kneel, so they do as well.
And as you kneel, he stands up and walks towards you. On his back, across it, he has a giant sword that's probably about 7 feet tall. Looks like it's made of bone. And he leans it up against the side of the tent and walks towards you and stands at least 8.5 feet tall with scars all over his
Jesus.
body and some tattoos of different sort of tribal symbols that you would recognize that stand for different trials, tribulations, life events, things like that. Vol. And he looks much older from the last time you saw him, as it's been many years. And he stands directly in front of you, kneeling with your eyes down. And he says, "What do you want?"
I came to help.
What would you do?
Help you with the trolls, like we did back in the village with the girl who went missing. That's why I came with with them.
You slayed 2 frost giants?
The 3 of us did, yes.
Stand up.
Vol will stand up.
And curiously, you don't stand that much shorter than this man, and he looks at you curiously. And he says, "I think exile might have been good for you."
Well, I left with an injury, and you know how that can be. Most don't survive, but I managed to survive, and here I am to help. I got Trod's letter.
Perhaps it's just my old age. Perhaps it is too much happening right now. But I am happy to see you. And I welcome you home. And he brings you in close, similar to your brother, with his hand around your head,
Vol
with
would
his eyes
reciprocate.
closed. Yes, yes.
No-
Okay.
Nox begins
And,
vibrating.
Just palpably buzzing in the corner like a phone.
Craven, be
But
quiet.
yeah, then
Ah!
he says, as he pulls away, he says, "Unfortunately, I'm sure you got here as quickly as you could, but yesterday, your mother was she was killed."
Vol's gonna. What would Vol do? He'd leave and go around and kneel beside where his mother's lying, and just kind of stay there for a few moments.
She looks peaceful. What are you guys doing?
I think at
Agdor?
this
Nox?
Magdor, you first.
Magdor is still kneeling. He's thinking about how if he didn't waste as much time in Luskin or on the road or in the boat, how they could have gotten there a day sooner and he could have healed her wounds. So he's still kneeling on the ground.
Nox is done kneeling at that point when they hear those words, but they sit in like a cross-leg position. And just kind of like arms crossed, deep in thought at these words, just like crunching timetables. A similar thing as Magdor, except instead of blaming himself at this point, he's like getting a little flustered with others. They're also thinking about if there's anything they could possibly do with the help of the goddess of death on their side, as well as the traveler. And they're just, contemplating in thought at this point. But Nox doesn't say anything.
And you hear a voice in your head as you contemplate this. And
Oh,
it
boy.
says, "You can save her." She
Magdor
will
looks
come
over at
back.
Nox making that noise.
Huh? and she
Sorry,
will be
I
my
had the
servant, but
shits.
she will be alive.
No, Mother. I think she served her purpose.
I want her.
Well, how's it feel to want? I wanted the Staff of Power last night, and I got squat. Is it just dead silent after that?
Yep.
Well, that's it for my scene then. Jeez.
Okay.
I'll start making a new character as I get sucked into the void. You just watch, you see Nox slowly shrinking and shrinking, and all of a sudden it just turns into a miniature dark hole, like an apparition in Harry Potter, and Nox is gone.
All right.
I'm assuming Nox isn't actually gone.
He's not. But he
Backdoor's
did
going
make that sound,
to
as far as I know.
Backdoor's going to finally stand up and walk over to Vol and put his arm on his shoulder.
As you stand and walk towards him, Goruk puts his hand in front of you and just he says, "Give him time."
He needs us.
Right now, he needs to deal with seeing his mother for the first time in many years. He will need you, but give him a moment.
Magdor's going to just stand there.
And he nods at you, recognizing and respecting that you give your friend a little bit of space right now. And he nods it to you in, confirmation, and he appreciates it. It's obvious at that point.
I'm gonna
Vol,
Yes.
what are you doing?
Vol's probably just more remembering and paying his respects of, growing up and stuff. And as not so nice as it was being exiled, given Goliath, he understood that it needed to be done. And I guess more than anything, Vol is, what's the right word to put it? Maybe grateful.
Mm.
And then he stands up and, without looking at anybody specifically, he says, "She led the village well, didn't she?"
Your father looks at you and nods. And you do remember when she exiled you. You never saw her show a sign of weakness. But the one sign of quote unquote weakness that she showed in Goliath culture was in the moment that she stared at you and told you those words that you would not be allowed back. A single tear welled and then fell, and she quickly wiped it away. That was the one sign of weakness that you saw from your mother, and in that moment, you realize how much she probably hated that. But it was hard to see being told by your family that you were going to have to leave forever. But she looks peaceful now.
What's the plan?
Slaughtering the giants, killing the dragon. We lived in peace. I don't know why. They decided to attack us. They had their territory, we had ours, and then this dragon came in. It's Cryovane, they call him.
Cryovane. Okay, well,
Makes my blood boil. But unfortunately, he and his lackey giants have killed so many of my hunters that we can do nothing more than provide and protect for the village.
we are here to help now, and I'm sure we could think of something.
I'm gonna message Vol and ask, "Am I allowed to talk now?"
Yeah, at that point, Vol would have looked at Nox and nodded.
And during this this discourse back and forth between you two, Vol, he would have gone around the fire in the center of the room and sat down and made it obvious that, if you would like to join him around the fire, you absolutely could.
Yeah, when he sat down, Vol would have started making himself a little bit more comfortable, taking off his gear and stuff, and then join him. Probably not opposite him, not next to him, but like kind of in between.
Cool. A quarter of a way around a circle.
Something like that, yeah.
Magdor, Nox?
Nox would try to approach this hulking Goliath. Mind you, I think at this point he's facing the fire away from me, but I would walk up, try to keep within like his peripheral. That way I don't get like judo tossed into the fire or some shit. And
They are good at throwing.
yeah, I go. I am Vol's ward, so by extension, I think that makes you my grandfather. It's a pleasure to meet you. I
Hi.
also killed a frost giant.
I have a grandson, and he looks at Vol.
I apologize. This is Magdor, a friend.
How did this come to be? He does not look like a Goliath.
I can.
What is
if
this
you,
ward word?
Do you want me to be a Goliath? Because I can.
Don't do it. Don't.
Like I'm like I'm
No,
saying this like
no.
Hinata. Like if you want me, Naruto-kun, I can turn into a giant for you.
When I joined the world, and I was able to do things. I made use of my stature as being larger than most others, and provided services for.
You are
the
larger
people.
than most?
Oh yeah, most of them are not much taller than Nox here,
Huh.
and I'm the runt of the family.
Yes.
And
You still have grown some, and I am quite impressed.
well, I guess I didn't finish growing, but during one of my jobs, I was meant to protect a caravan, and we were attacked. And in the midst of all of that, found him alone, and so I took him.
You brought him in as one of your own and raised him?
Tried to, yes.
And he
Yeah,
did
what
a great
form
job.
are you in, Nox?
I'm in Mary form, so the half elf.
Okay, you raised
form.
her? Huh.
Yes.
She is
Oh, and at this point,
very-
sorry,
a
Vol would
little
have
stringy, and he like lifts your arm up and like feels your bicep. Like and he says a little stringy. Why? Wow.
like
Why do you
just-
make noise of sheep?
defensively, like when he grabs my arm, it turns to jello. So it's like he squeezed Play-Doh.
What is wrong with her?
What is
Nox
right?
is a being that can change forms freely.
And at
Or
that
at
point,
least-
She could become a wolf or a dragon?
No, not
Show
in
me.
that
I
case.
need to see this.
More like a doppelganger. They can.
don't worry though,
Nice.
Vol. I'll be able to turn into a dragon soon enough. Just give me a little time.
Did you look like me?
Boy,
This would be most amusing. Please become me. He's saying this almost as a challenge because it seems like he doesn't believe you.
You fool. As I like put my shield and staff to the side, I pull like that one string that drops the entire thing of clothing, because if I turn into a Goliath, I'm gonna rip all my clothes like the Hulk. So like right when I do that, all the clothes drop as I turn into my changeling form, and suddenly I look like Nox. And I go, oh wait, I don't have to see my form. And I'm gonna turn into grandfather, except stark naked, Ken doll.
And probably not as tall, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
And at that point, when the all the clothes drop, I would imagine Twilight would peek their head out, and then I'd beckon it to come to me.
Twilight does that. And your father's face, for the first time in your life, is completely flabbergasted. He
I
goes,
I do a Colonel
This is
Armstrong
stoner shit.
pose. Ho ho!
and he feels your arms, and he says, "This muscle feels real.
Don't
Are you
worry.
strong. Can we wrestle? Can we wrestle?" And he like gets ready. Could we
No,
fight?
no, no, you don't want to do that.
Are you challenging me?
Nox, you don't want to die. Only the form changes, but the strength doesn't actually change.
So he has the strength of that string bean thing, with the visage of me.
Yes.
Amazing. And he like feels your face and like pulls your cheek a little bit. He's like, you know that scene in Hook where the kid's looking for Peter and Peter Banning, and he's like feeling his face and moving it around. He's
I'm
doing
gonna-
that with like different parts of your body. And
I'm gonna try to when he does that, I'm gonna try to put him into an arm lock, which I cannot hold for more than half a second. But I'm gonna he like
that's an
not,
athletics check.
I was hoping to say that I was just moving his arms around because he's attempting to grapple me by the face, but sure.
Well, I mean, he's not grappling inherently holds you in one place. It's forceful. He's just like feeling you.
Prodding.
Okay. I got a +0. Let's see what happens. Yeah. I got a 2. A solid 2.
Okay, he just kind of like playfully bats it away and continues to feel.
Doesn't even notice.
And
it's
he's
just
like, wow. Can you change as well, dwarf?
No, but I can beat you wrestling.
I doubt it.
no, but
This is
Magdor,
not the time for wrestling.
Aren't you wearing your cloak?
Oh. Yeah. And Magdor's going to think about the most important thing to him right now and say rutabaga, and he's going to look like a jug of alchemy.
with his head just sticking out the top spout.
So
As
it's a
God
bigger jug
intended
of
it.
alchemy, but it is a jug of alchemy, and you have your head popped out of the top, or do you want to like drop in
Yeah,
and have
yeah,
the
my
lid
head's
be on
popped
top of your
out.
head?
You
Okay,
can
and
pour
he
4
says,
gallons of me.
and he goes close to you and hits it, but it feels fleshy. He knocks on it. He says, "You have some odd friends, son."
Not friends. Family.
That's a
So-
story for another time.
One of the biggest problems, if we can get back to business
Yes.
with
Can I
what's
put
happened,
my clothes
obviously.
back on?
Please do.
Thank God, it's cold as shit. And I'm gonna turn back into Nox form, dress up, and then airbag myself back into Mary form.
Okay. Like an inflatable, wacky inflatable guy. So you're just really thin and whoop, fills out the clothes. That's the visual, right?
Yes.
I love it.
I just imagine the
that's
sound.
Awesome.
You actually do that too. You put your own thumb in your thing and go.
And he feels up, and he still looks confused, but he says, on top of the destruction of the village and the loss of our chieftain, they have stolen something quite important to us.
Yes, the
They
life of
raided the
grandmother.
village.
And we'll kill them for that.
I said other than the loss of our chieftain.
Oh, this is awkward.
Friends.
Nox would shut up for the next 3 minutes exactly.
He says, you remember the gem, the gem of power, which we use to keep fires, light the night.
Magdor is
Even
going
have
to
healing properties.
Magdor is going to look at Vol and be like, "Oh, that's like the gem you need for your dagger."
And then the moment Garuk and Magdor say this, Vol's gonna have like flashbacks to his dagger and then what Brandon said. And then also he'd forgotten about this gem. And then when they both say that, Vol's gonna pull out his dagger and be like, "It wouldn't happen to fit into this perfectly, would it?"
Where did you find that?
You're not gonna believe me. I just found it. I found it in a small little shop. It was just lying there.
May I see the weapon?
Of course. And I'm gonna hand it over.
And he just kind of folds it in his giant hands. Pun intended.
My big
Uh,
meaty hands.
And if you are able to reunite the gem with this dagger, the legends, this has been lost for centuries. The legends say that you could wish yourself a castle. You could bring someone back from the dead. You could save your mother
But there's
and bring our chieftain back.
shit. I got a minute
'Cause
20
I'm not
seconds.
suited for this. I'm a hunter. I like killing. I do not like leading.
No, you and me both, Father. But we do have a
You
magic
did
user
take
here.
after me all.
Just point me in the direction of the enemies so I can swing my swords.
I know where the giants are. I know not where the dragon's hole is.
I would imagine the dragon would make an appearance when we can cause enough chaos. Whittle down its
cautious.
troops.
There is, aside from the two that you killed, there is one at their lead. I will not call them a chieftain because that is a place of respect and dignity.
Hmm.
But at their head, they have a female frost giant who wields great strength, despite their evil nature. And minus the two that you killed and the 10 or so we've managed to pick off, there's about 10 with her and an adult white dragon at their head. I know not why they take orders from the dragon, but I know that if a dragon swooped in and killed our leadership or subdued us or we had weaker wills, there is a good chance that we would at very least have to do what it said as well. So, do what you must. But end this. Like I said, we used to live peacefully with these frost giants living further up the mountain. If we can return to that, less death is good as much as I like killing something.
So
Okay.
Sure,
maybe
this is your father.
yes.
You're quick on the uptake, huh, dwarf?
He's
I'm wise.
he's struggling right now.
Why?
Because
He-
of this. And he's going to gesture to his cloak. That's still the Jug of Alchemy.
Arms pop out of the cork holes and you point at yourself. He says, because you are made of porcelain, clay.
his magical jug was broken during our fight with those giants, and it doesn't produce any more ale. See,
It
he's a
used to
dwarf. He likes to
produce
drink.
ale,
It was
like an
magical in nature.
ever-flowing spring of alcohol.
Magdor's
Uh,
going to hold up 3 fingers and he's going, 3 gallons per day.
And you drank all of it every day.
Magdor's going to look over to the party and look back at the chieftain and look down and say,
Perhaps it is a
yes.
blessing in disguise that you do not have this jug. Your reliance on it will end. That is a good thing.
Opinions.
Well, we'll figure that out. That's not a concern. A concern is now, how do we effectively combat these giants and the dragon? And from what you've just said, it seems like if we were to maybe slay the dragon first, we could reach some sort of understanding with the giants.
Possibly. The only issue is that I have only seen the dragon coming from further up the mountain, and the only way to get there is either up a near sheer cliff or going through where the giants currently call home.
Vol,
Yes.
would there be any consequences of bringing your mother back? And Nox at this point would be standing not too close because they saw that there was like a respected distance, but like back turned to the party looking down because just because they brushed away the Raven Queen's demands doesn't mean that the thought was completely pushed away. Because when was it Baruch?
Goruk.
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 Was talking about the sword could bring her back. Nox thought that once a Goliath dies, it's done. There's everybody's happy, but when they talk about the possibility like it's a good thing, the thought creeps back in their head.
Make an insight check for me.
Okay. 23.
Yeah, it seems like the only reason why you don't, obviously you don't know Goliath culture outside of what Volus told you, but it
Right.
sounds like this was the only reason this is exempt to what you would understand as an honorable death is because of the nefarious nature of it. Dying in battle, awesome, great, but it sounds like the way she was killed was not honorable, and therefore her death was unwarranted, and a return to life would be a good thing for that reason.
If she could come back with stipulations, would you want her back full?
Vol's eyes would probably narrow at this.
Well, I'm Goruk right now. You saw my eyes narrow too.
Yeah.
Double squinty eyes.
What kind of stipulations?
She would have to pay back a debt, I'm pretty sure, but it's possible. I would have to speak to somebody about this, but it's possible she could be brought back if... And Nox would sigh if we made a deal with somebody.
I just want to make sure I remember, like, I'm not metagaming here. Nox never told anybody about the Raven Queen, right? Like either me or Magdor.
I believe so, yeah. They've either like cartoonishly attempted to hide anything that involved it. I believe Magdor has taken a look at the blade one time a while ago. So they have like an inkling, I think, but I think for the most part, it's kind of like one of those unrequited love in an anime thing where it's like it's been poorly hidden, but it's still hidden, I guess you would say. So yes, to answer your question, yes, I believe so.
For Vol and Magdor, please make Arcana checks for me if you could.
I got a 16.
All right, I got a 5.
Okay, Magdor, you think it's what he's saying sounds like something of a pact that a warlock would make with someone. You know, usually power for some sort of price. Sounds very, very, very warlocky. If it's magic in nature. Well, you're not exactly sure the nature of what he's referring to.
Nox, you're gonna need to give us more information before you start bringing people back, but also specifically just bring my mother back.
I'm not gonna do shit. I was just asking. I thought she would be best at rest, Vol, but if you feel like she should be brought back, I just needed to know. I'll give you finer details later if there's a possibility.
What would you do?
Well,
Speak plainly, grandson.
if we're gonna be honest here, I'm not I'm adopted. Congratulations, you have a granddaughter that's a half elf. I've been adopted by more than one person, so to speak. You see, unfortunately, Vol here is great at teaching me how to swing the sword, but I actually still don't know how to do it. As you see, I'll show my arm and then I'll like sloop the my forearm so it just kind of like cartoonishly like goes downward instead of upwards. But him and I made an agreement that I should learn how to properly control my magic. As I began producing like a small flame in my hands, and I found somebody that showed me how to control my magic. As this burning red flame starts to turn towards more of a purplish hue, more translucent and apparent, and I go, I met Mother.
Well, who is this woman? Did you mate with her?
I, I don't know what he's talking about, if I'm being completely honest. This is all new to me. I don't know what he's been hiding. What they've been hiding.
And
Sorry.
uh, from the corner of the room that was a little darkened by the presence of a fire that flickers, you see a old, thin-looking woman
Who
that is a
does?
Goliath. All of you.
Okay.
As it seems as though she sat there unmoving in the corner, and she says, "This is dark magic you speak of, young
Whoa.
lady."
Who the hell are you? Nux
And
jumps.
says, "This is a shaman."
Well, hello. Are you my grandmother? Great grandmother?
The tribe is all one family.
Then
She
yes.
is she was our village's skywatcher. Not many Goliaths know magic. Those that do tend to play the shaman role.
What is her name?
Mother.
She goes by no other name.
I summon the raven to my shoulder. Oh, she has a name. Most glorious name.
Step away from my chieftain.
I take one step away from the chieftain.
She's referring to the wife at that point.
Wait, she's doing what now?
No, she was referring to not the current chieftain. She's talking about the wife, the dead one.
Oh, I don't think Nux would know that.
Away from her now.
Oh, this chieftain. Sorry. I'll take a step towards
I have
away
seen
from the
she
chieftain.
will be returning, but she will not be coming back like that.
I mean, if that's the agreement, I'm understanding of that.
The bones have spoken it. I told the chieftain that Bull would return. Prodigal son would come home and save his mother. He did not believe me. It was far-fetched, I understand. But now you are here, Bull. A welcome returned son. This dark stain will not be the way that she returns. You will bring her back.
Vol's just gonna nod.
And I
Why
double
not?
finger guns like, you got it, Grandma.
Agdor's going to look at the shaman and say, "Can you fix this?" and hold up the alchemy jug.
She walks towards you, and her long, grayish, bony fingers take it. She holds it up. Yes. But it seems as though you would lie too much on this. What are you trying to keep down?
Is this fucking Alcoholic Anonymous episode? What's going on here?
When she says that,
I
Mag
will
just
make a
gonna
deal
go,
with you, dwarf.
my ale.
I'll try further. If you can go a full 10 day without having a drop of ale, I will fix your jug.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
And she gives you the jug back and says, very well. But I know that you are masking some sort of pain, and it is best usually to confront these things. I hope you do.
Magdor's going to take the jug and turn around from everybody and kind of stare towards the back of the tent.
And the shaman, she moves towards you, Vol. Kind of slinks up to you because she's a little slinky. Just think like a less evil looking who's the lady from Emperor's New Groove? I forget her name.
Yzma.
Yzma. Like a less evil looking tall Goliath Yzma. Just very long and bony.
That's scary, dog.
And she's got her tattoos are very runic and druidic almost in nature. And she says, "It is good to see you, my boy." She pats you on the face. She's still shorter than you because she's like she's hunched in her old age.
It is bittersweet to be back. First, we've got a job to do, and then we can catch up.
All I know is that each day you must take things as they come to you, and today is a good day.
And Vol's gonna nod.
Chieftain, shall I show them to their tent? He says, unless there's anything else you would like to speak about before we head off to bed for the evening.
We could probably get more specific details in the morning, but we are sore from killing those two giants.
Oh yeah,
On top
I'm
of
really
the
tired
travel,
and hurt.
Mountains are treacherous.
Yes, these two did well on the journey up here. For non-Goliaths, they handled it quite well.
Right. It's a shame your prophecy didn't say Vol and company. That's weird. Wait, does that mean I'm gonna die? Because that's troubling, actually.
Do not read into it, young lady.
Okay. Well, I can't read
Life is about
Goliath, so I guess that
choices.
works out.
Make the right ones, and you'll be fine.
Hug? Nox wants to hug her. But they don't go forward, just arms wide kind of thing.
It's just kind of like you're opening yourself up,
Yeah.
kinda. And she says, "This is the thing that Trod spoke about, the hug."
Yes, they seem to like the embrace quite a lot.
Come close, young lady. Come here.
Mm. And
And she's bony and cold.
okay,
Like way less warm and comforting than hugging Trod or Vol or the chief. You know, like yeah.
so is
But
she taller
does
than me?
embrace- Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
She's about 6.5, 7 feet tall.
Like straight up, or is she hunched over or anything like that? Like,
Probably when she was full grown. So yeah, she's probably hunched to about 6 feet tall.
like I got this giant Yeti fur cloak that I just kind of spread wide, and I tried to like wrap it around her just to warm her a little bit as I embrace, and I go, "Traveler's blessing be with you."
That's more like it.
Shit, you know the Traveler's son?
I believe he goes by many names.
Cool.
But the Traveler seems in line with the other ones. So if you're talking about who I think you're talking about, then good luck winning the tug of war that is going on for your services.
What? As like Nox like leans back like, "Eh?"
If you ever need help, I am here.
Yes, I actually could use my alchemy jug getting fixed. I don't usually drink, but it's just a shame that it broke.
I believe that you are speaking on behalf of the dwarf, who is now cradling it and staring into the corner.
Yes, I'm his lawyer representing. Is there anything I can do to have you fix it? I haven't drank it
It is
for
not.
10 days.
Make a deception check.
Well, I haven't drank from it in 10 days.
No, I know, but it's the whole deception that you're saying this is your alchemy jug.
Oh, we're going back to that one. Yeah, I rolled a 20.
Okay. Yeah, she says, if it is truly yours, then I would be willing to fix it.
But then I wouldn't have to be able to share it with him, I'm assuming.
I just worry for people who seem to mask their feelings, and this dwarf is wearing a pretty thick mask, maybe several.
I'm quite literally wearing the alchemy jug.
Is that your new persona? Your alchemy man is just you carved into like some kind of shiny anime mask?
I'm the trash guy. Jump in the ring, and I just start eating trash.
What the fuck? Lad! Where did that one come from?
It's always sunny from Phil. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. It's Danny DeVito. Trash man. Anyway, and she says, "So I could fix it for you if you could wrench it from his body. Is he the alchemy jug now, or has he simply?"
I don't know,
transformed?
because honestly,
Aesthetically.
asking you the fix alchemy, it's like fixing him at this point, so I'm not even sure. He's a bunch of pieces right now, and honestly,
Master Dwarf.
Magdor's gonna just kind of look up and look over.
Come. And
Gonna
as he calls him over,
waddle.
your father, to you, Vol, says, "Son, I know that these are trying times, but it seems like you have found a family. You know that the tribe was always the whole family, and after you left, our pride kept us from reaching out to you, but Trod showed us we were wrong."
I mean, if we are people who do, um, not that we don't have any beliefs or any gods, but we believe more in actions than the words or the beliefs of higher beings. And I think, despite that, I was meant to be exiled, as strange as that might sound.
Mm.
And while I'm saying that, I'm gonna pull out one of my friendship coins. I'm gonna hold it up to him and present it to him, and like, we've been making these and giving these out to people who we trust and who we can consider allies, at the very least. Trod has one. Feel like, I don't know. And then I'm just gonna hold it out for him.
Where is the one for your mother?
And I'm gonna pull out a second one, and then I'm gonna go stand up and sort of, I guess, place one in her hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, along with her holding the flowers.
Yeah, and you realize too that underneath the flowers, because one hand was grasping the flowers, inside of the flowers was the top or the bottom of the hilt of her weapon, which was down underneath the blanket. So she was holding flowers and a sword.
Fitting.
And yeah, in the other hand, you're able to place the coin, and so now it's kind of between right
Yeah.
there, top of her other hand. And he says, "I may not always trust the shaman, but she has never been wrong. So bring her home, but first get some rest." And he flicks the coin and catches it, and he says, "And no longer will you be unwelcome here. You and your ward and jug friend are welcome in the Valnogoni tribe and valley. whenever."
They're and then Vol's gonna not then say they're an odd bunch, but Hey, once all of this is over, I could tell you about the time I got kidnapped and it took them a while to find me.
You were kidnapped? Ah,
Yeah.
surely they took you in your sleep.
It took me in my sleep. They must have done something to my food or my drink.
I get there
Unhonorable.
is no other way. Also, if you're willing, I could teach you. Yeah, your brother told me that he gave you the book.
Yes. And I'm slowly learning from it.
Once this is over, if you want, we could spend some time learning the ways, training.
It's a deal. I'll save the village, and then you'll teach me to become stronger.
He puts his hand out in an odd gesture because you know that he doesn't
Vroom
that
vroom,
was really
motherfucker.
loud. Jeez Louise. In an odd gesture, he puts his hand out and says, "Shake on it." I hear this is a thing when people make agreements.
It took me a while to understand it, and then I'm gonna shake his hand. They seem to prefer this physical contact for agreeing on things when simple words are not enough for some reason.
Well,
Uh,
you got to do full forearm. Like, it's called the Predator handshake.
Usually, word is good enough. Yes.
Yes, it's a deal.
Then no shake.
No
We do
shake.
things like Goliath here.
No shake. Okay.
You save the village. I teach you the way.
And then under his breath, Walt's gonna mutter, "Hell yeah," because he doesn't
thought you were
want
gonna say.
to.
I was hoping you were gonna go. This is the way. And he goes, "I have spoken. Get some rest, son."
Understood. And then Volt's gonna gather up his things. Also, this is Twilight. I know you probably
And
noticed,
now-
but
He puts his hand out. Twilight immediately hops on his hand and just like crawls up his shoulder and starts nuzzling him. While that was going on, Magdor, you had puttered over to him or to the shaman and Nox. Let's pick it up there real quick.
Hi,
Have you
Magdor.
come to make fun of me more?
No, the jug is apparently theirs, so I will fix it for her.
Magdor was about to say no, it's not, but for the first time in his life, as soon as she said, "I'll fix it for her," he just he like opens his mouth and immediately closes it again. He doesn't
So-
know what to say.
You are in possession of this. You were very saddened by it. I still worry for you, but if it is not yours and it is hers, then
I mean,
I
It
will
is
still-
she just lets me drink from it.
you drink 3 gallons a day with her permission? This is still unacceptable.
What if she keeps it and only lets me drink 2 gallons?
1.5.
I mean, you won't be there, so deal.
you
In
fool!
Goliath culture, the word of a person is worth more than anything else. So, keeping your word is your bond and does not affect me. It only affects you. So, may I please have the jug?
He's gonna hold it out to her.
I'm gonna call it
Right,
now
fix
as
it.
a player, and I'm gonna give Glenn the idea. The jug is now like the limited jug of alchemy, where it can only produce 1.5 gallons a day.
Half as much for every quantity.
Fucking big brain right there. Anytime after that, it
and,
just produces mayonnaise instead.
She closes her eyes and begins to chant stuff in giant. And you see her hands kind of start to glow like a deep green, and that energy overtakes the jug itself. And where there were, corks and all these things, and it's almost like, when in movies and television, when things lose life, they lose essence, they lose energy, they tend to kind of almost go grayscale and get a little duller. It's almost what happened with this jug. When you put it back together, it wasn't as vibrant as it was before, But through that greenish energy, you see that start to be replenished, and it's almost like the color begins to wash back into it. And she takes a deep breath, and the energy retracts back into her hands, and she says, "Here you go, my dear. Your jug is fixed."
Magdor's gonna say, "Thank you," and he's gonna immediately open up the ale quart and take a
Oh,
drink.
she gave it to Nox.
Oh, okay, never mind.
You don't say thank
Magdor
you.
is Magdor is reaching for it as like it's going across his body over towards Nox, and he's just hoping that she'll hand it to him.
Thank you. My name's Knox, by the way. What should I call you, Grandma? Or should I just call you Grandma?
Grepa.
One more time?
Grepa.
Is there an accent there? I don't understand.
In giant culture, we roll our R's usually.
Oh,
Grandpa.
so... Gra- Grandpa.
Grepa.
Grandpa.
Grepa. Grepa Skywalker.
Skywatcher.
Skywatcher.
Grepa
I'll call you
Skywatcher.
Grandpa.
If you need to call me Grandma or whatever that is, it is close enough to my name.
Oh no, it's not that part that's yes. Sorry, I can't. Me as the player, I can't roll R's.
What is this grandma? What is this grandma?
Do you want the simple answer or the right answer?
What does it mean?
It means you're the parent of a parent.
Oh. Huh. I guess we never put much stock in it. But I am indeed Vol's parent of parent.
I'm honestly surprised you even have a stock market.
Magdor is going to kind of reach for the jug that that Nox is currently holding.
Please, this
Can
is
I have
hers.
one drink?
Ask for it.
You can wait later, Magdor. It's like I give a look over at Magdor.
Magdor's going to look down and look at the shaman and say, "Thank you." And he's going to say rutabaga and change back into a normal cloak.
Why does this matter so much to you?
I'm a dwarf. I like to drink. And
Good night. And then she just steps away. Just let me know if you need anything else. But I must.
Magdor's going to say,
I must
"And
bed."
it was my first toy."
Gives you a quick wink, Nox, as she leaves. She says, "Sleep well, friends." And she slides out of the tent and heads off. Right about the time your dad is playing with Twilight, and you guys see Twilight climbing and on Goruk's shoulder and nuzzling him. He says, "A fine creature. Did you kill its mother and take it?"
No.
And he holds it in front of him.
We
For meat? Will you eat him?
no, he's you see, I've grown rather fond of animals. Not that I wouldn't eat.
Throws him in the air. And then Twilight just starts flying around the room.
I was waiting to
Just fascinating.
gets the sword ready.
Not that I've stopped eating meat, Father, but I've grown rather fond of animals. This is Twilight. We met him on our journey up here, and there's a horse that Trod actually stole. God damn it, Sparkles.
He told me
Beautiful
about
mare.
it. Wonderful. I was terrifyingly angry at him, of course, just for face, but in private, I smiled.
It felt like old times.
I'm not gonna lie.
And
The way Vol described this whole scenario, I imagined when I finally got to meet you, you would be like a stone cold thug, but you seem awfully nice, and it's weirding me out.
how many years has it been, Vol?
Almost 2 decades, I think. It's been a long time.
20 years has made me soft. Granddaughter.
You just hear Nox just get fluttery.
And Magdor, your name was, yes?
Aye.
Know that this ward has been adopted by my son, therefore they are part of the tribe of Alnugoni. And you
Okay.
are a part of their party. If you are able to, as a group, save us, defeat the dragon, then effectively you will become a Valnagoni as well, and both of you will receive your own titles.
I already
You
have a
open-
title.
Not a Valnagoni title.
Can't go wrong with more titles, Magdor.
But I like mine. Ball Crusher.
It doesn't take away from Ball Crusher.
He crushed balls barehanded. It was
Well, I
It-
mean, when your hand is made of metal, how hard is it to crush things?
I mean, those things were the size of beach balls, and he just obliterated them.
It was a
Well, the
Durgar.
one is easier to pop. A Duragar? Wonderful. Those terrible mountain war.
you were naked,
Terrible
weren't you,
cousins.
Magdor, when you fought
Nearly
Durgar?
naked.
Yeah,
You were
no,
naked and you crushed a Duragar's beach ball balls.
that's what I heard.
Hmm. Well, I will hear more of this another time. But let us reconvene in the morning. Trod should be outside, and he will take you to a tent that has been set aside for you. In the morning, we will speak and hopefully begin to deal with this.
Oh, we're in
Alright.
for an adventure. Vol says as he's turning around and starting to leave.
I'm gonna start a TPK by holding this alchemy jug, and I'm gonna whisper the word vinegar. That's it.
Okay. Make a stealth check to make sure that it is not heard by anybody, because it is a pretty
Ah.
closed space.
11.
11. What are your passives? Oh, passives. I got them written down. Magdor, you're close enough that you hear him whisper something, but you don't quite make out exactly what it is. But you know he said something towards the jug. And Vol, you know exactly what he said. And then at that moment he starts to gesture for you to go out.
I'm gonna head out, and as I do, I'm gonna turn around and say, "Can I have a drink now?"
Let's wait until we get back to the room 10 thing.
We're so used to being in hotels, it's hard to remember sometimes.
I know. I mean, this is probably not going to be 5-star, but honestly, this is going to be an authentic experience. We get to live in a Val Nugoni
Glamping.
tent. Wait,
Is
What-
that a yurt?
wait, like the comprehension that Grandpappy finally like named me a Val Nugoni, like it started to click, and it's like, wait. I'm gonna start side-eyeing at Vol. Has Vol said any response to this to his father naming me a Val Nugoni?
He said both you and Magdor would receive nicknames if you were able to save the village. It's kind of like
Oh,
becoming
I
of
thought you
age
said
thing in
since I
Valnagoni.
was adopted, I got it. Did that change?
But you'll get your nickname once you kind of prove yourself. You
Alright.
are a Valnagoni, but you have not yet earned your name.
That's fine. That's fine. Take what you can get. But what does Vol think about that?
Vol wouldn't think too much of it, because essentially this was a decision by the chief, and I guess Vol's never really put, except for his, he's not put too much, as Brandon put it, too much stock in other people's names. So to Vol, not to take away from the pleasure that Knox might be feeling, he didn't think too much of it. This just seems like matter of business. It made sense to him. Right, and my ward finally come up, or makes sense that now that my exile's been lifted, you're given the name.
Okay. That's it. So I look at Trod and I go, Uncle Trod, some reason I love the idea of calling him Uncle Trod.
So how did it go? I didn't hear weapon clashes, so I assume amiably. I didn't even realize the shaman was in there.
Yeah, me neither.
Skywatch has always been a little sneaky. But no, it went.
watching.
Don't
went-
tell her I said this, but sometimes it's a little creepy.
It is a little creepy. I don't understand it.
When
Why
she
can't you
appears
just walk
behind
around?
him and says, "What's
She
creepy,
throws
Sonny?"
bones and like kills small animals and reads their intestines. It's all very odd to me.
As
She like
long
the-
as it helps the village, it's not our place to try and understand it.
Is she
Did
like
she
the
say
teacher
anything to you?
from Invader Zim?
I didn't watch Invader Zim.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
She said that. I'm having a hard time believing it, but she said that I'm the one. It was prophesied, or she foresaw that I would be the one to come home and save the village.
Sweet. Good. I'm glad that it fits in line. She's not usually wrong. So
But could we? Would you be joining us whenever we decide to take action?
I will have to. I don't know if Father made it evident, but our ability to provide for those who are non-combatants at this point, despite the fact that most people can fight, frost giants and dragons are another thing. So we can't stray too far from the village. Well, we can't stray too far from this place. It's
Well-
not home, but we will rebuild.
Understood. I'm sure whatever plan we come up with, the village will help in any way they can. But if it means to protect those while they can and you can't join,
Yes, we can provide supplies and food if you need for a journey, or if you need to climb, we have climbing supplies.
well, we'll figure this out in the morning.
Yes, it is late.
Before we sleep, I do want to do one quick thing. I'm going to pull out my stones and send a message to Sibsian.
Oh, magic stones.
Say,
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, damn,
and
Brandon,
say,
come on. Trying to keep this PG-13.
Balls.
We're about to fight a dragon. Is there anything you can do to help us?
Why in God's name are you fighting a dragon?
Well, that's it for
And
today.
that's the only message you can send for today. Sweet. And then at that point, he gestures towards a tent and pulls the flap up, and he says, "This is for you. The fire has been stoked. There is some food in there for you to eat before going to sleep. We will wake you in the morning when it is time to convene."
Understood. It's good to see you, Trod.
Likewise, brother.
And then Vol's gonna duck inside.
I follow him behind, so good night.
Same
I-
to you, Mr. Dwarf.
I look at Trod expectantly. Nox does, rather.
Oh, right, the hug thing. And he puts his arm out as he holds it up and puts his arm over you and just like pats you. And he's like, "Am I doing it right?"
Yes. Think of it like a grapple without actually wanting to, like, you want to hold them in place without crushing them.
Oh. Okay. I am patting. Pat. Okay. And he like pushes you forward and he says, "Go to sleep now."
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, senpai.
And with that, you were all three in there. Is there anything you want to do before you go to sleep?
Yep, gonna
It's,
slide the alchemy
cozy,
jug
it
right
is
over to the mag
warm.
door.
Uh,
Don't drink
Vol's-
tonight.
Vol's not gonna say anything, because he knows what's about to happen. Instead, he's just gonna spend some time eating, cleaning himself a little bit, and then going to bed and just hanging out with Twilight.
I
Not
want
really
you to
saying
make
anything.
a history check with disadvantage, Magdor.
And while he does that, I'm gonna go, Magdor, I'm gonna make this very clear. You are not to drink this tonight. I don't trust that shaman lady.
I rolled
Jeez.
a 9.
You don't remember what this cork opens. But it could be ale. It's just been a while since you've used it. For some reason, you can't remember exactly which cork you
Yeah, it's
used.
been
I'm going
like 3
to
hours.
see if I'm going to see if I listen to what Knox said.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
make a.
Oh,
Well, you can't read lips, can you?
no. I was just saying
Yeah.
Magdor as a character. Would he listen to what Knox said? So I
Like
I
what
did a
Nox
wisdom saving
Yeah,
throw.
what Nox said.
Oh, yeah. You absolutely listen to Nox, but I mean, you can hear Nox what they say.
No. I mean, like, if I take Knox's advice. Because Knox said don't drink from this. He doesn't trust her.
That's your
So,
call.
yeah, so I
Absolutely.
rolled a 23, so he's going to listen to Knox.
Okay.
He's going to be like, yeah, probably right. And before he goes to bed, he's going to dump out the rest of his iron coins and make a second hand. Similar to the first, but not autonomous.
This one doesn't move by itself.
Right. And that's what I do, and then I go to bed.
Okay. And Nox, what do you do before you go to bed?
I'm going to look at Vol and get his attention.
How are you attempting to give full attention?
I think they would sit on the edge of the bed, look at you attentively, and then kind of do the hem kind of thing. So think Professor Umbridge.
Okay. Yes.
You and I need to talk.
About.
I'm sure you've noticed I have gotten a little bit stronger over these past few weeks, and I may have made some decisions when I was trying to find you that I do not regret, but I believe they come with responsibilities, and I think as the group, you should know what they are. But with responsibilities come opportunities. As I described, like a Ponzi scheme, essentially, whatever you call it, the pyramid scheme. And I like
if Nox would have done like a pyramid scheme description, the more you would have been talking about it, the more you would see sort of like Vol's eyes like glaze over as you either lost him or you like just
and
stopped.
so you see, if I sell 10 vacuums, I get one free, and I sell that for a no.
You don't say. Uh-huh.
Vol, I am I don't know what the term would be, a paragon, if you will, of, I call her mother, but I suppose you would know her as the Raven Queen.
Your Magdor's tinkering stop for a second. And
Oh
then
shit,
continue on.
you're still awake.
Would Vol know the Raven Queen?
Make an Arcana check.
That's okay.
You'd think a religion
It's
check.
possible. Arcana or religion. I mean, honestly, it's the same sort of thing. Pantheons, because she is a deity of very high arcane energy. So
To be fair, for Vol, it's
my-
an intelligent saving throw.
Yeah,
I
my
believe.
modifier is the same. So like, regardless, I rolled Arcana, but if it was religion or intelligence, I got an 8.
I think you've never heard of her.
Raven
Which
Queen.
is exactly what Nox is hoping for.
Is the Raven Queen strong?
She's very strong.
Is she
She's-
helping you learn your magic better?
She has helped me become the best thing I think I can, and she offered me to help bring back your mother, but I believe your mother would have to work a little with her in order to pay off the cost. But I need to speak with her to get further details on that, just in case this whole other magical sword heals life thing you got going on over there with Destiny. Honestly, I know my stuff sounds far-fetched, but come on, a magical sword that brings people to life? What chances does that happen? You would think the cleric
of
over there
all-
would be able to bring them back to life.
First of all, it's a dagger.
It's a
as I
dagger.
pull
I'm
it out.
sorry.
Second of all, it supposedly contains the soul of some prince from the elemental plane. That's what Brandon said. But
Can only
if
bring people back to life for a minute if they've died within a minute.
well, whether this finding this gem and placing it back in this restores her or not, I'd rather it not than making a deal with Mother, you called her, and not be able to resume her duties. That seems more dishonorable than just staying dead. Because then we would have um, not vengeance, but we would have cleansed her dishonor by killing these giants or making a deal with them, and by slaying this dragon. I think we'd be achieving the same outcome regardless.
From Blair the Dungeon Master, I recall that the last episode I had a dream with the Raven Queen, and she wanted to know the location of a tiefling. Could you remind me of the contents of that dream or that conversation?
The tiefling was, yeah, you don't have to roll anything for that for sure. The tiefling was the one who forged the weapons. Tinderstrike, Windbane, the weapons that seem to hold part of the essence of these elemental princes.
And I'm supposed to assume that this motherfucker is still alive? Okay, no, that's fair. And I look over at Vol and I say, well, usually what happens is I'll think of her, and she'll hopefully give me further details, but I also pretty much scolded her. When you scold a powerful person that gets upset with you, sometimes bad things happen. So if I wake up and I'm completely purple or I'm missing an eyeball, that's probably what happened.
I will. I. These are things that are beyond my understanding, Nux. Uh, we've been over this. I just point me at the enemy and I can swing my sword or shoot my bow. But I can tell you, if you were to bring her back, and if she were not who she was, if it wasn't me, either my father or my brother would have killed you first.
Well, at least we're being honest, but I also think that the idea that I was just gonna like force this abomination down your mother's throat and just bring her back into some kind of demon creature seemed a little bit far-fetched. Step away from the chieftain. I'm sorry, Grandma was a bit uncanny there. It was like I was holding a potion that turned her into a llama or something.
Well, at this point, she'd be your great grandmother.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. She's great grandma. Wow, Vol, you knew that?
Yeah, is it odd to know who your parents' parent is?
Apparently. I think that's something you might have picked up when you hopped off the mountain, so to speak.
I
Great
did
grandma
not.
did.
It
She didn't even know.
occur to me. Well, I've picked up words in common that we don't really use here, but yes, in this relation, she would be your great grandmother.
Huh. Cool. I'm not sure if she likes me. I think it's dependent on if I sound spooky or not.
Well, don't mind her too much. She's also a little creepy.
Good.
Just
That
don't
makes
tell
two
her I
of
said
us.
that.
I look around for shadows in the corner.
Um, we'll decide what to do in the morning and how we want to go about this. And Vol's saying this as he's starting to put things away and maybe feed Twilight something, grab a little bite for himself to eat, and then he sits down. And as he's getting ready to sleep, because we could either fight the giants head on, take them out first, and then focus on the dragon. But the dragon's controlling the giants, and then if we start taking them out, the dragon's gonna come down, and then fighting the dragons and the giant at the same time. That's not good. So either we go after the dragon first, and then go after the giants and make a deal with it's. I need to see this place in the daylight so I can figure out which way to go, and maybe, you know, my father or Trod would be able to assist us in some sort of strategy.
Oh boy. Craven, you and I can talk telepathically. Oh, you beautiful thing, you and your nice steel feathers. Why don't you patrol the camp and wake me up if something that is as big as that bearded motherfucker I melted the face off earlier comes in, or a dragon or something. Can you do that for me? Well, shit. Say no more, senpai. It takes off. Okay, I'm like, well, time for my parent-teacher conference as I pass out face first into the pillow.
Magdor, do you anything after you finish your minting your coins, or just go straight to sleep?
No,
I put my new hand on, and I have my old hand. I just kind of set it aside, and I'm assuming it kind of crawls up into
Into the bed.
whatever it wants to do. Yeah, and then I head to sleep.
Okay. And Vol, you put your stuff away and then crash as well?
Yep.
As you just hear like a muffled shout as Nox turns into their changeling form and pops the bra off and just sloops onto the bed.
Okay. And all of you go to bed, and you all sleep well,
Restfully,
comfortable.
10 hours straight.
And Nox, as you sleep, you begin to dream about something odd. And you see yourself kind of in an endless darkness, as if and the ground is not made of something solid, it's water, black water, but you can't go into it, you just stand on it. And you hear what sounds like millions of flaps of wings. And have you seen when water is vibrated and it just kind of like shakes, and like a bunch of points will, appear on it, the ground begins to shake? Um, and that's where we're gonna pause until next week. And we'll find out exactly what's happening in your brain and what is the next step for trying to save the Val Nagoni village from the frost giants and the white dragon named Cryovane.
Cryovane. All right, well, shit.
Badass name.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at 2timestyler, all letters, one word. Where can we find you, Nick?
You can find me on Twitter at LR the11th. And forgive me. And they're all letters. And forgive me, I can't remember who's going next. So, Glenn, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Glenn Houston. Glenn with 2 N's. Houston looks like Huston. What about you, Brandon?
Find me on Twitter at Zigzagoon. All letters.
I thought there was an O there. We are a part of Casual Master Quest, a podcast network dedicated to giving you the video game news and tropes you deserve. You can find the show everywhere you can Google and on Twitter at CMQ Network. That was Nick. That was Brandon. That was Glenn. This is Tyler. That was Mommy trying to steal the soul of another mommy. And we will see you next week on another session of Casual Quest Masters. And don't forget to never stop the quest. Bye-bye.
Bye.